Hi, my name is Horion Gracie. I'm hoping that you have spent enough time practicing the moves of the basics as well as the intermediate series that by now they're second nature to you. This is very important because if I were to show you too many moves at one time, although it may impress you, it would not be the best way to teach you. Since I'm not here to impress you but to teach you right, I have prepared this advanced series with the idea of continuing your systematic and efficient way of progressing in the art of Jiu-Jitsu. I'll see you in the mat. In this tape, Royce and I are going to show you the defense against several attacks on the mounted position. Also, how to escape if your attacker is mounted behind your back. Ready to go, Royce?
Ready?
So we're going to be reviewing the attacks and gradually show you what to do in different situations. First of all, we talked about what to do in the movement, which is the arm lock in this position. Ideally, of course, you don't want to get caught on the arm lock like that by keeping your elbows here. That's the first thing you want to keep in mind. However, if your opponent gets you by surprise or is very strong and is able to muscle you to the side and bring your arm to this side, what you should do here is slightly turn your body sideways. Remember, his objective is to get the arm here, bring his hand under, control the arm like this, and then break the arm by bringing it back. But if you slightly turn your body sideways, like Royce does here, like this, and keep your elbow glued to the ground, it makes it impossible for me to bring my hand under, therefore being able to accomplish the arm lock. So if the guy, again, ideally you want to keep your arms down so he never has a chance to catch you on the arm lock. But if he's able to somehow muscle your arm to the side, slightly turn your body sideways like Royce is doing, and then keep your elbow glued to the ground so that my hand does not enter underneath, okay? And of course, at the same time, after you do that, you can bounce your hip a little bit to throw the guy out, and then tuck your elbow in, therefore protecting yourself from getting caught on the arm. Of course, let's do the same thing on this side, please. So if the person is able to muscle your arm down, turn your body sideways and tuck the elbow in. Now he doesn't have the chance to bring the hand underneath anymore. And if you want to buck him out a little bit, tuck the elbow in, preventing the guy from getting for the arm lock. We also saw this one, which is to put the hands on the chest, bring the leg around, and then complete with this arm lock. There's absolutely no reason for you to get caught with the arm sticking out like this, because if your arm gets caught, you're asking for the arm lock. So once again, your elbow should be here. Wait for your opponent's attack, so when he tries to make a move, you then work on your escape. But sometimes you might get caught in this position for whatever reason, and he was able to force the arm to get to this position. And if you find yourself here, then you want to hold on to your collar, ensuring a good grip on the collar. Look at Royce's hand. He's grabbing the wrist like this on the collar, maybe even reinforcing with this hand, so that at this point, I'm going to have to struggle to bring my body back, carrying his arm with me. While your attacker is trying to pull your arm back, one thing you can do is get a hold of his leg, push the leg out, clear your head out of the way, going over the leg, and now come over this way here. Okay. Good. Once again, please. So let's say the guy was able to get to this, trapped your arm in here, brought the leg around, and he's now struggling to see if he can complete the move with an arm lock. Once again, Royce is grabbing the collar. If he doesn't have a collar, he can just grab the wrist like this, or somehow prevent me from being able to pull back. What you're looking for is a certain amount of time to give you just enough, opportunity to push the leg out of the way now. Observe that Royce turned his head to the side so that my leg doesn't get stuck under his neck. So he turns the head to the side, bringing the head out this way, going over that leg, and now driving his weight forward this way, coming on top of me like this. Again, Royce, please. Now the guy does this move here. Brings the leg around. If you have a jacket, a kimono, grab onto it. If you don't, find your grip on your wrist. While the person is struggling, use the hand to pull the leg out, head out, Put your head over the leg so I can't bring the leg over the head one more time. He now turns, goes over him, and ends up in this position. All right. There are several other attacks, which one of them, for example, is a person grabbing the collar like this, and he tries to go for the simple cross choke. As the person on top of you places the hand on the collar, you should have your elbows on the ground, and as soon as you start thinking about bringing the hand under, the upward lift should throw him off balance. Again, hoist. Even if he was able to get a certain amount of a grip with that hand somewhere in the neck, when you raise your hips straight up, go hoist, and he rolls me out. Now you keep your head away so that I cannot improve the grip afterwards. Once again, please. So I have the hand on the collar. Hoist turns his chin slightly to the side to prevent my hand from getting an easy, clean slide all the way in here. While the guy is struggling to get the hand through, he can now roll him out. Upward lift, and out he goes. If the person goes for this kind of a grip, and now, instead of going underneath with the hand this way from underneath, he tries to go over the top with the thumb inside as he goes for this motion here. Now hoist is going to trap the wrist that way, preventing me from getting a very good deep grip. He grabs my hand, and from here he can feel which side is my weight leaning to. If my head is on this side, he'll take me to this side right here, taking advantage of the body weight. Sometimes the person does this move and he kind of inches his hand that way, keeping the weight to that side. So hoist now controls the arm and rolls him to the other side. Why don't you go ahead, hoist, and complete the move, please. So from here, if I do this move, he feels the weight and takes him to this side. Right? There we are. Always keep your head away so that I don't have a chance to keep, improve the grip after I've taken out. From here, if I go for this move and I start insisting this way, he prevents me from getting a great grip just because controlling this hand on my wrist. Now he can obviously feel my weight going to this side, and then take the guy here, aware of the hand so that I can never improve the vice. Yes. There's also another choke here, which is when the person gets the collar like this, the kneading choke as we call it. You bring the hand with the cloth across the neck, pull on one hand, and drive the weight in with that hand. That's the idea. So go like this, keep the cloth taut so it's really snug around the neck. The bony part should be right here. The knuckle should be right here by the carotid artery. And then I go like this. As I lean the weight down, pull one hand and push with the other. That's the plan. As I try to go for this move, hoist then reaches over with this hand, the second hand right on top, and then brings my hand down back that way. Because what I'm using is primarily my body weight leaning forward, there's no way I can stop him from just bringing it back all the way. I have too much leverage by pulling back this way. So let's go ahead and get a good grip and then pull back. Notice that sometimes Hoist will even tilt his body a little bit, which will increase his leverage to bring my hand back to the opposite side. If I have the hand going this way, he comes in, there's a little leaning on the body, and then he kind of brings it back. Okay, once again, please. Way in. Oh, good. It's important that the first hand to overlap mine should be the hand on this side, the same side arm. And then the second hand just comes in and complements on the top. If I use this side here, he'll use this hand first, and then the hand comes back and pulls it back this way. Okay, another variation is if the person grabs the cloth with the thumb inside and has the grip this way on the hand like this. The second hand, my intention now is to grab the other collar and like a guillotine, bring it across like this. So I get a good grip with the thumb inside. The second hand I want to grab here, take this slack out, and then bring the blade across the neck this way. My idea is to bring my elbow all the way down to the ground so that I can choke him this way. soon as I grab the hand on the collar, first hand goes on the rib. The second hand, he brings it over this way so that with the armpit, he can now block my forearm and the blade of my arm from going all the way down. So even if I put all the way here, oh, take your hand off first for a sec. Just this hand alone prevents my arm from going down. I can't put enough weight to, hurt his neck. So I grab the cloth, you secure the wrist. I grab the cloth and I start doing this. It just brings the hand over like that. Give it a lot of leverage in this case. I can't squeeze down no matter what happens. The other side, please, hoist. So if I grab the cloth this way, and the second hand, like I said, my idea is to grab this and tie and pull the cloth back. He holds one hand here and the second hand goes over with the arm this way. That makes my arm fall right here into the groove of his armpit this way so that I can't push down anymore. There's a lot of leverage with this part of his arm. Grab here, bring the arm over. Once the arm is controlled, he can again feel which way my weight going to. If my weight is leaning that way, he just rolls the guy out and ends up on the guard this way. So I'm here, trap the arm hoist, bring the second hand over, control the arm here. Even if the guy is really strong and wants to muscle, there's no danger. The arm is very safe at this point. Controlling the arm. If my weight is going to that side, he just takes the guy and goes with the floor. Hoist. Maybe we should show our friends what to do if the person on top, in this position here, is able to sneak his hand into the collar, even though it's not a perfect grip yet, because your head is going to try to prevent him from getting a great grip. However, roll him out, hoist, and then fall into this position. And now he still has a kind of a half good choke. At this point here, hoist, what do we do now?
Hold the collar, leg up, go for the choke. As more that you pull me, more I will choke you. Okay, lock the arm, turn the body slightly sideways and lean the weight on the person's neck.
I see. Once again, please. So the guy's here, has a good grip on the cloth. He's bringing the second hand in, you roll him out. He insists on the choke. He's trying to improve the choke. Bring your hand across the neck. Yes. In other words, the more I pull him towards me, the more that arms will choke me.
Make sure that as soon as you roll him out, not to let go his wrist right away until you get this grip. Leg up, now I go for the choke.
Great. Also, by keeping the chin to the side like this, and anytime the guy tries to go for the choke either this way or with the hand that way, use the fact that your chin is here to be able to become very sensitive to his hand approaching your neck, so that this hand, which should not be locked into the gi only, should be ready to grab my wrist at any time, so that I never have a chance to really get a very good grip if you can help it. If the guy's trying to go for the neck, just yes. Prevent it, and now roll him up, hoist. Yes. If he insists on something like this, there's hoist again with the choke. Right. Right. Good. Lay down, please. Okay. If from this position, the person is able to roll you to the side like this, turn this way a little bit, hoist, please. There we go. Turns you to the side like this. It's because he might be thinking about bringing this hand under, and with the help of this one, feed the collar to get a real deep grip with the hand. This hand, as we talked about before, pushes the cloth to the ground, and then he raises the whole body to go for this choke. That's what he wants to do from the top. However, when the person turns you sideways like this and puts this hand over like that, your hand, check out Hoist's move here. He keeps the head down. By keeping the head down, the only space I have is to bring my hand through that little tiny hole. So I can now feed the cloth this way. But Royce knows better. He puts the hand just like this, making a little wall, so that my hand going from this side, through underneath here, does not have a chance to go through, therefore preventing me from giving the cloth from this side to that hand. Okay, once again, Royce, please. As a matter of fact, what usually is going to happen is that he's going to put the leg up and try to turn you sideways this way. Turn your body to the side and go for this. As soon as he's turned sideways, Royce puts his hand down there to prevent my hand from coming across and having access, like I said, to this cloth. However, when he prevents the hand from going across that way, sometimes he gives the person on the bottom might leave the arm open, which will give me a chance to then go underneath this. I now can feed the collar with this hand to this side, put the hand on the ground, and then think about going for the iron lock here. So you turn sideways, he blocks a little space. I now want to think about going this way here. I want to do this. However, if you glue your arm, if you become aware of this, and make sure to glue your arm next to your body, I have not the opportunity to go through here. I lose the chance of going through here. So not only you've stopped me from going through here with that hand connected to your neck, be sure to keep your head down, because if you keep your head up, even though your hand is closing that little gap, there's a huge area for me to go around, and I still have access to the neck. So keep your head down like this. I can't go through this little hole. The elbow is now glued to your body, so I can't go for the arm lock either. So I'm trapped on both sides. Then you're gonna say, well, so what? You stay here, but you're still on top. The bad guy now is still on top of you, trying to win the fight. So we now have at the same time to find a way for you to, something for you to do on the bottom, that you can not only defend from my, the double attack I'm doing here, but also force your way out, which is with this hand, Royce pulls the arm underneath his body a little bit, braces my foot with the hand, like this, and now he backs up his hip, creating just enough space for the leg to come under my knee. With the leg, he lifts me up, and then follows the guy all the way out into this position. Good, once again, please. So this is called the double attack, what I'm doing, because I'm thinking choke, and I'm thinking arm lock. So I put the leg up, which prevents me from being rolled out. I go like this, put the hand on the collar. As soon as he secures my wrist and controls the arm, I'm thinking to myself, if I do this, he might roll me out. So I put my leg up so that he can't roll me out anymore. This is going to prevent me. Horse, won't you bug up that way? My leg is going to prevent me from falling out. I have a good base in this position. So at this point, he down brings the hand under my arm and turns his body sideways. Back up, Royce, again, please. Notice that he's making sure to bring the hand under my arm. Because if Royce just turns over that way, it'll be easy for me to capitalize on the move and control his arm for the arm lock. So at this point, I put the leg up, he turns his body sideways, bringing the hand under the arm. That hand has a specific objective of trapping the hole and preventing my hand from going through. He closes that little gap, keeping the head down. I can't go through here. And because he's keeping the elbow glued to his body, I also can't go for the arm lock. While I'm trying these two things, Royce's hand goes into the foot, braces the hand in the back of the foot, and scoots the hip away. Back up for a second, Royce. Notice that my foot doesn't really move. He's not trying to muscle my leg away, pushing my foot that way. He keeps it here, brings the hand under. His back is what moves away. Look, he's the one moving back. Now the leg goes underneath this way, and with this leg, lifts the person all the way out and end up in this position here. Great. So he turns sideways, he does this move. I'm going for this. This hand is on my foot, once again, Royce, working there. Sometimes here, while he's getting ready to scoot the hip away, lift me up with his knee, I could think about saying, you know what? Instead of just insisting and going through with this, I could, with this hand, grab with the thumb inside the collar like this, on the back of his collar, one hand in the other hand. So when Royce lifts me up, and use the leg to throw me over, and he's rolling my hand, so I bring the hand around so that when he gets into here, I have a good grip. So I'm here, we put the hand, I block this. Royce is defending the grip this way, like that, so that I can't go through with this, and this hand is blocking right here. So now he backs up the hip, got the hand on the foot. While I start feeling that I'm going to lose my balance anyways, this hand, in a very last resort, from here, grab with the thumb inside, lift your head up a little bit, Royce, thumb inside like this, and then as he rolls me over, while falling, I want to bring this hand over here so that I can end up with the choke. However, knowing better than that, Royce, at this point, go ahead, Royce, please, once again. When I grab the cloth, he's not only thinking about the foot, he's thinking of everything else. So when I roll, he keeps the head up just enough that I can't go around. I no longer have the chance to do this move because he's aware of that grip, keeps the head up, so I can't bring my hand around, therefore, no danger. One last time, Royce. Actually, let me do this on the other side one time. So from here, as soon as you see that leg up, you want to turn your body sideways to prevent the person from having easy access to this and this hand. Everything is locked in, so I can't attack him from either side. Once he has this position secured, I'm still going to be trying to bring that hand. Royce now brings the arm under his body, brace the foot. I'm here. He lifts me up. As he's throwing over, he keeps the head up so I can't go around. Because if he forgets and keeps the head down, I will have a chance to do this move. Right. But Royce just doesn't forget this kind of thing anymore. Which reminds me, sit up for a sec. Which reminds me of one thing. Every time you find yourself in a little tiny bit of action here and there, these are not just isolated pieces of movement that we're seeing here. They're all part of a huge picture. And that's why it's so important that you get each one of those movements and drill them over and over and then put them in context with everything else in the picture, like a puzzle. If we just give you a whole bunch of little pieces of a puzzle, you know what I'm saying, and you try to put everything together at the same time, it's confusing. So you have one area that you work with and then another area, you know, you put all the yellow pieces here and the green pieces there and the blue pieces there. So you work those things and then eventually the picture starts taking shape. Because if you try to guess where the little one goes in the middle of everything else, it's very confusing. So you help your brain and your body to work better if you get yourself the time to just kind of drill a little bit at the time of these positions, a little bit here, a little bit there. So that's why when we show these instruction videos, we make sure to give you just a chunk of information in one area so that you can get that area and just really slice it real thin with as much information in repetition so that you can practice that thing over and over to really be comfortable with that level of movement, with that series of movements, okay? First, we got a couple more moves in this situation here. All right, so we did this. You turn your body sideways. He brought the hand under my arm to make sure that I didn't have a chance for the arm lock. Blocking down here, defending this. Now, I'm on top and I know that he's got everything defended correctly. And I can also feel, let's turn this way a little tiny bit. And I can also feel that he's now working with this hand. I can see the hand working towards my foot, which means that if he's doing everything right, he will be able to take me out. So at this point, when I feel that everything is blocked correctly, in other words, like a chess game, every time I have a move, he has a counter move. Every time I plan on one little attack, he has something that corresponds to that. There's no such a thing as an attack that I may have that it works every time with everybody. Impossible. So every time I try something, he has something. I go here, he has a little, you know, defense for each one of those moves that I might try. Like I said, he's now working on this. I can see he's working on his defense. So at this point, knowing that he's got something to get me out shortly, I'm going to embrace him. And from here, I'm going to bring my weight. I'm going to kind of glue him to my chest. And with my whole body weight, carry him with me. Opening a whole new opportunity, which is to now bring him back and go to his back by hooking that leg. Positioning myself behind his back, which would give me the chance to keep attacking him no longer from the mounted position, but now from the back mount position. Go ahead, stay down, please. So I'm here. He's got this block, the hand is there, defending everything. He's not working on the escape. As soon as I see him thinking about this, I'm gonna get a hold of him, pull him back, and go and hook him this way, ending up with the hook on the legs that way, so that we can control. Now that I have the hooks, if he rolls, let's roll one time this way here, I still can stay behind his back. If he goes the other way, see, the legs will enable me to stay behind him and continue a whole new front of attack at this point. Lay down, please, Hoist. Turn sideways. I'm trying to go here, blocking both sides. The hand goes onto the foot. As soon as I feel him doing this, I'm going to pull him back to do this move. If, while blocking here, I was able to bring this hand through and catch the arm this way, starting to, prepare myself for the arm lock. At this point, Royce is going to turn himself facing me like this, keeping the elbow down, untangling that trap that I had, which is going to force me to go back to this again, have a whole new start, and then try to do this move, which brings him back to square one. So he goes for this, and this. Now, as I said, every time I feel the person on the bottom trying to escape, I'm going to think about bringing him back to go to his back this way and try to hook the leg this way. However, to prevent me from going to his back, he's now going to step back with this leg right here, so I can't pull him over anymore. And now he scoots the hip away that way, brings the leg on the inside, and he's going to try to go either across the side or mount, one of those. So the person is on top trying to attack the arm and the neck. When I'm going to pull him over, he steps back, scoots the body away that way, and try to go on top of me this way here. Again, Royce, please. Of course, if I try to mount, he's going to prevent me from by bringing the knee in, pushing my leg, so I can't go over. Then hooking the leg, yes, and then going across. Okay. So let's do this one more time. Watch Royce's leg. As soon as I pull him, he steps back with me. Then he scoots the hip away. Even if I were to go on top of him, he'll bring me into his guard, which is much better having the person in your guard than having him attack you from behind. So it's a good position to be in. Great. Lay down, please. So I did this, it turned sideways. I was able to bring the hand under the arm. He quickly turns facing me. Puts me back into this position. Which leaves us one more move, which is when I'm in this position here, we talked about grabbing the cloth like this and using the knuckles like a nutcracker to squeeze the neck. The movement is to go like this and choke the person this way. However, as soon as he feels my hand grabbing the cloth, he brings the arm inside like this to trap my arm, preventing me from having the angle to squeeze his neck with the hand on this side. He traps my foot, controls this arm, and then raises the hip to roll me out this way. So let's do a quick review here on that nutcracker. If the person grabs the cloth like this and is trying to squeeze your neck, as soon as Royce feels this, he brings the hand in and traps the arm. So I can't push anymore. This hand controls this way the arm. He now raises the hip, rolls the guy out, and we are in this position. Okay, again. This hand controls this way the arm. He now raises the hip. Let's say, even though you know how to prevent the opponent from getting to your back by stepping back and keeping the distance, he is still able to sneak his way in and somehow hooks that leg. In other words, you find yourself here now with the guy behind your back trying to bug your neck. We have talked in the past about, the choke, this one here, there's no defense for this move. Once the person knows what he's doing and catches it right, that's the end of that. So you better not get caught this way, all right? However, there is different attacks and other chokes that he might try. For example, something like this, that he would try to grab the cloth and then the second hand squeeze this way. As soon as you find yourself with a person behind your back, you put your hand up like this. Bring your arm up. And the idea is to prevent my hand from going through here. You don't want me to go this way because it would give me access to the cloth. So by keeping this hand here and this hand like this next to your ear, I can't go through here. Okay, so that's the idea. So now I have to go under. And as I try to go under, you secure the arm this way. Once you secure the arm, you can then trap the arm this way here so I can't pull it out. All right? And then you're going to drive your weight to the side. Once again, hoist, please. So from here, you keep your hand next to your head like this, sealing this part really tight so I can't go through. He says to himself, well, I'm not going to go through here because I can't choke anyways. I'm going to go with this hand on the collar. This hand on the collar, one hand on the collar, it's okay because he can't choke you with just one hand. This kind of choke, he needs the second grip. So as soon as the person grabs the cloth like this, you're going to use my hand as a guiding for you to know which way you should fall to. So if I grab the hand this way, is as if I'm pointing your way out. So I grab the hand here. You already know you're going to have to go to this side. While I try the second hand, I strap the arm like this. I can't get my arm out. And now scooch the hip away. And then slowly inch his way out to be able to end up mounted on me if you can. Something like that. One more time, hoist, please. So always, the hand is already here. So even if the guy is going for the choke, control the arm so I cannot get a good grip on this cloth, because back up for a second. So you don't want me to do this move and then have an access with this hand here, because now the choke is going to take effect. So the purpose of this is like a net. As soon as my hand comes under, he traps my arm, preventing me from grabbing the other cloth. Now with this only trying to squeeze this, there's still enough space, there's enough slack on the cloth that if I pull here, he gives him time to resist a little longer. He now lays down, puts the weight on the head. That's the trick. Keep your head down here, leaning this way so that I can't lift you up. The head stays down, so put all your weight down. Then he kind of squirms his way out. The hand on the knee is to prevent me from mounting. So as soon as he gets to this point, by keeping the hand on my knee like this, I can't mount. But if he doesn't do this, I'm going to mount and get to the mounted position again. When I put the hand on the collar like this, you secure the arm, so I can't grab a second hand on the other collar. One hand only is not enough for me to get a good grip on the choke. Hoist now uses his legs. What pushes his body to the side is that he's using the legs to drive the weight back like this. I can't stop it because my legs are using a hook. I'm busy with this. He now drives his weight this way. And he now starts to scoot the hip away. Look, right. Either mount, or if I try to mount, he's got the hook to keep me up from mounting, lift him up, boys. Either go this way, or even if you're able to go on top of the opponent. Now he has me on his guard. Once again, it's better have the person on your guard than have him behind your back trying to get your neck. Once again, please. Always the hand here. Trap the arm, controls the arm, bring the other hand back. The arm is strapped. I only have one hand. And hoist, start to lean the way to the side. Because, like I said, because my hooks are here, he cannot, I can't stop him from driving the way to the side. He can't, I can't stop him from going that way. Some guys think they're real smart, and as soon as you start leaning the way to the side, they're going to put the weight here with this leg. Now, hoist can't fall to that side anymore. That prevents you from falling this way. But although he can't go that way, he rolls to this side here now. And now goes to the side again, this way. Good job. Okay. Let's not forget that he only has two legs. So at this point, when you do this, if he puts the leg on the ground, wait, hoist, to prevent you from driving your weight this way, he does not have the hook anymore. He either hooks the leg, hoist, roll this way, please. The leg hooks keep me on your back. Go, hoist. It keeps me here. Back up, please. So he needs the leg to stay on your back. You trap the arm. He falls to the side, hoist. If he puts the leg here to prevent you from going down, he had to let go of the hook. Now giving you the space to roll out this way. He can't prevent you from falling, and at the same time, keep the legs hooked. Got here. He's going to the side. I put the leg on the ground. He rolls out, controlling the arm here so that I can't improve my position. Stays close so that I don't have the space to get away from him. And then establish the position on top this way. He's going to the side. I put the foot on the ground, he rolls out, controls the arm, goes in here, and he's already on my side. Going with the elbow on the ground and lean across the side on the end. Well, we do this one time, hoist for the other side, please. So now if I change sides with my hand on the collar, he changes arms too. I'm going to turn this way for a sec. Wait. This hand on the neck means that you're going to fall to that side. This hand on the neck means you're going to fall to this side. Be sure to use your legs to drive your weight to whichever side you want to go. Instead of waiting for me to grab the cloth and then maybe taking a chance with me grabbing the other, that's too late now. As soon as the person is on his back, the hand is already here. So the only option I have is to grab the cloth with this hand, right here. As I'm trying to grab the other collar, he's waiting. He controls my arm, and with the legs and the body, he drives the weight to that side. Hoist, go for it. Yes. Either I keep the hook, and now he slides, he's inching himself away. Sometimes he uses the hand to untangle that foot. Look, gets the leg out. Go, hoist. Keep the hip away. The hand here to prevent me from mounting. Either hook the leg and lift him over and end up mounting. Yes. Sometimes the guy that you're working with is much heavier than you are. Hey, give me a chance, hoist. Much heavier than you are. And when you do this, scoot your hip away. He's so big, so heavy that he's still able to get to this position here. Look at the leg trapping my leg. I'm on top, but he got me on his guard. Right, there you go. Always better to have him in your guard than behind your back, okay? So the bad guy's behind your back. He goes for the collar like this. You control the wrist, and then you go to the side. Use your legs to drive the weight forward. Scoot your hip away. Up we go, aware of my legs so I can't mount. Right, and even if he goes on top, you put him on your guard. Right, hoist, do me a favor, come down this way a little bit. My friends, check this out. Sit up, hoist, for a sec. When he goes back and he leans back this way, he's using the legs to drive his weight to the side, and he kind of lifts the hip up a little bit like this, so that it makes it very heavy. Your weight is all on your shoulders now and on your head. Even if the guy were to try to pick you up, it's much heavier. That's the idea. So that your body being arched this way, being pushed forward by the legs, makes it impossible for the guy to drag you back from the ground again. And then he scoots the hip away more and more, and then brings the leg over, hopefully to end up in the mounted position. If nothing else, have the bad guy inside of your guard. Not the bad guy, you know, the opponent. All right. Not all the opponents. Not all opponents are bad guys. Anyways. So we're here. If the person is somehow gets a hold of your collar like this, and before you had a chance to throw your weight to that side, as we talked about, he's able to bring you to this side here, where you did not have a chance to go to the correct side. You find yourself on the wrong side, as you can see. Back up, boys. Because if I have this hand on the collar, as we talked about, you should fall towards the hand that I'm pointing to, the side I'm pointing to. He got a hold of your collar like this, and he was able to bring you to this side. If you were to turn and slide your body that way, you're actually going to increase the pressure on your neck. Whereas if you go, I'll set this a little bit. The reason you want to go to that side is because when you fall to this side here, scoot your hip over, hoist, you are undoing the choke. Nice, once again, please. So let's make this very clear. Person has your collar like this. When you fall to this side, by scooching your hip away, you're actually undoing the choke. A bit more, hoist. It lost the effect, the tightness is gone. If I grab you on this side, let's turn the hip just a little bit, there you go. And you fall to that side, the wrong side, and you try to turn, scooting your hip away, you actually choke yourself more. All right. Therefore, if I have this hand, there's no thinking. They have to go to this side. But like we talked about, let's suppose your opponent is able to bring you to this side here, where you don't want to be. You got your neck like this. So in this case, you can't go back, one second, you can't raise your body this way anymore because he's very heavy, very strong. And even though you had my arm, you can't just get up and go. He's got too much leverage, pinning you down to this side. So now Royce is going to grab the cloth of the elbow here, maybe one hand here, hand on the elbow, or two hands here if you need. Look at me so that your head is sideways, it's easy to escape. He lifts my elbow up and brings the head underneath. Right, like a little emergency exit. And from this position, once again, you want to be aware, so don't let the person mount on you, either pushing the knee with the hand or hooking the leg here so he can't climb up, or end up on top of him, anything you can. One more time, please, Royce. Always, the hand is already waiting for his attack. He got a hold of you here, he was able to throw you off balance to the side. He uses the grip on the cloth. Remember, be sure to turn your face this way so that your head doesn't get, your nose doesn't get scraped by the guy's arm. Turn your head and push the elbow up and slip your head out that way. That's the plan, right. And if he goes on top, he should end up on your guard. Take that sideways, please. Change hands. The guy has to go. Got to go to the grip like this. Throw you to the other side where you don't want to be. Both hands grab the cloth. At this point here, he pulls the cloth, the elbow up, keeping his head nailed to the ground, undoes the grip on the leg, scooting the hip away. Look, at any time, stop for a second, please. At any time, if I try during his escape to mount, he should be sensitive to that. Either with the hand on my knee or with the leg hooking up, because at this point there's no choke. The head is already off the grip on the neck. So at any time at this point, if the guy changes his mind and tries to go on top, he's expecting that. And then from here he goes over, at least put the adversary inside of his guard. All right, great. Turn around, please. So we saw several ways for you to escape from this position, and let's add a couple of more tricks. One of them is that you should continuously be aware of when the person is behind your back, he may cross his feet. If the person ever crosses his feet, if they don't know Jiu-Jitsu, they probably will, because it gives them a better sense of controlling you by, grabbing you and trapping the legs. They think it's better to do this way. If your adversary crosses the leg behind your back like this, you want to bring your foot over my leg and straight the second leg over like this, making like a figure 4. Okay? And at this point, you lean back and slowly raise your hip. Once again, please. So Royce brings, if I cross the legs, you want to bring the corresponding leg. If I have this leg on top, you bring the leg on the same side over, right there. Now the other leg goes over straight. The leg should be relaxed. Yes, the more relaxed, the heavier you feel. And then as Royce leans back, he raises the hip, and that's the end of that. Of course, if I, in that case, change feet, he'll put the other leg over, second leg straight. Again, like a figure 4, relax the weight on your legs. If the person here on the back is trying to choke you or is trying to accomplish a choke, while you defend this, at the same time you're thinking about the legs. And then you raise your hip and then squeeze the guy. It's a very painful foot lock. So if the guy is doing this, bugging the neck, and he crosses the leg goes over, and over you go. Okay. Remember, sometimes when you first start this position, you're going to find yourself maybe rolling with the person this way. Let's go this way. Like this, he goes back. See, my legs are not crossed now, but that doesn't mean that later on he's not going to do this. And if he does, bring your leg over, straight the second leg, and then raise your hip up. Be careful, please. It's very painful. One more thing that we want to show you is, if the person has the hand like this, bugging the neck, or you have the arm trapped, like this, you secure my arm, and he's bringing the second hand over, you could control the wrist with 2 arms, like this. Put my arm right over your shoulder like this. Let me go for a second, Royce. So that you can get a better feel for it. Hold the arm down, and then bending my arm. Let me do some talking, Royce, come on. And then bending the arm backwards against your shoulder. You hyperextend the guy's arm here, works very quick too. So he's going for this, and he brings the arm over, you control the arm. Be sure that the elbow is folded outwards like this, not like this, because you'll bend, it won't hurt. So you rotate by the wrist, keep the elbow flat out like that. And as you bring this down, it's extremely painful on the joint of the elbow, okay? So the big guy's here trying to bug your neck. You control the arm. Yes. Turn the hand out, pull it down, and then against your shoulder, you kind of fold the arm backwards. It works great. Yes, don't forget the cross foot. All right. Always the top leg catches his top leg. There you go. If you want to use the hand, that's right. Sometimes, you know, if you don't think that you have the angle to bring the leg by itself, use your hand to kind of make sure it's on the right place. Leg over, second gate goes over, straight. Put your weight on that foot and on your back, and then raise your hip on the center. All right. Well, I think that's a good review for some of the stuff that we saw on the previous tape, and more importantly, is to give you the elements of how to defend yourself from those attacks. As always, we recommend that you practice these techniques carefully, and the name of the game is being relaxed and repeat them over and over and over. You want to make this stuff become second nature, all right? Thank you. We'll see you again on the next tape. Hi, my name is Gracie. I'm hoping that you have spent enough time practicing the moves of the basics as well as the intermediate series that by now they're second nature to you. This is very important because if I were to show you too many moves at one time, although it may impress you, it would not be the best way to teach you. Since I'm not here to impress you but to teach you right, I have prepared this advanced series with the idea of continuing your systematic and efficient way of progressing in the art of Jiu-Jitsu. I'll see you in the mat. Foot locks are an extremely efficient weapon. In this tape, we're going to see several ways to apply this effective technique. Please. Let's keep in mind that the idea of the foot lock is to stretch the ligaments on the foot this way, okay? So you want to make sure that you don't place your arm too high up on the foot. So bring your arm this way, right on the Achilles tendon, this way here. Pull it arm back, cinch it up this way. Either you grab your collar or put your hand on your shin, your other hand overlaps your own wrist, keep it snug, put your foot and then lean back. The movement is not going to be arching your back this way, but instead expanding your chest as you fall back straight. So the plan is to bring your arm right here, keep your armpit in this area, and then by stretching back, you will cause a lot of pain on this part of the foot. Bring your arm way up. This move here, keep it really snug as if you're really like hugging that foot close to you. The idea of keeping your foot against your opponent's waist is to prevent him from getting any closer. Keep your legs together, kind of squeezing his knee together here, and then arch back, bending back this way. All right. Again, like I said, it's important that you make sure that your arm does not end up placed under his calf, but rather as close as you can to the Achilles tendon. That's the ideal setup. One other thing that you want to keep in mind also is that you should not use a foot lock against a person who is taller than you, because assuming that your opponent is taller than you, when you try to catch here, he could exchange foot locks. You can get his foot, he gets your foot, and then he pushes his leg in. Now you're going to find yourself like this because his leg is so long, and you're trying and he's succeeding on his side. So the person that you're applying the foot lock should be your height or shorter. It increases your chance of success on that move, okay? All right, let's see this. Turn it this way here. So from the different positions that you can go into the foot lock, from the guard, for example, would be one way to do it. So you're here, arm, stand up. Let's first, keep your legs crossed for a second. Let's assume that your partner has the legs crossed like this. And you get up. It's important that you find a way to make him uncross the legs, because if his legs stay crossed and I walk away, he keeps the legs with me. So let's suppose he has one hand on the collar. Okay? I want to bug his neck a little bit to force him to defend. When he does this, I'm going to put this back leg in between his legs, take a step back in base, set up the foot, once again, right by the Achilles tendon, hand on his shin, the other hand on my wrist, and then arch back. So here, at any time, the person, if I wiggle my body like this or bug his neck, and as he blocks, he defends, he uncrosses his leg, take a half a step back, placing your knee between his legs, step back in base, and with this arm here, always keeping his leg trapped, because you don't want his foot to get away. So at this point here, keep this close together. Now the foot's trapped. Secure the wrist, cinch up right by the Achilles tendon, and then arch back. Here. Put the leg between his legs. Then take a step back. This leg holds him away from you. He can't get any closer. Then your arm goes around, secure his foot, grab his shin, and squeeze back. The plan is to bring your hand this way. That's what you're looking for. This is the kind of adjustment you want. Not somewhere on the calf, but real close to the Achilles tendon, right on top of it. This way, this hand goes on his shin, and the other hand on your own wrist. So that when you arch your back backwards, you force the guy's foot to bend back that way. That's the plan. Okay, let's turn this way here one more time. So you're in this position. Control the arm. Stand up. Bug his neck. Sometimes, cross your legs again for a second. Sometimes a guy will keep the legs crossed and I'm bugging his neck here. I'm going to use one hand to choke him and this hand hold back on the cloth. He's defending there. He's still resisting. When I put that back knee between his legs, I kind of force him to open the leg. You can also do the same foot lock sitting down. Bring the leg around. Bring the arm around his leg like this. Bring your foot up here to the waist immediately, because if you don't, he's going to get close to you here and, kind of cancel your move on the foot lock. So the foot holds him from getting any closer. Once again, be aware of the position of the arm. It's way under the Achilles tendon. Put your hand on his shin. Keep either your knees together or put your foot on the bend of his knee. The idea is to kind of hold him away from you. From this position here now, you can just arch back and you get the result you want. A lot of times when a person is applying the foot lock, they make a crucial mistake here, which is this. As you go for the choke, the person blocks in there, you put your knee, and then you sit back right here. He now stays so close that he has a chance to keep up and either come up on top of you or just keep the leg so close that you can't stretch yourself away from him. So this is what you should be thinking about doing. Get up, bug the neck, put your knee between his legs, take a step back. Don't just sit straight down because it allows him to stay too close. you go straight down, but right before your bottom touch the ground, this leg pushes me back, so my body is straight up. So by the time I lean back, I have that much leverage to go. One more time. Boy, step for a second over here. Watch this. So I got up. I'm bugging his neck, so he has to defend the choke. I'm gonna, from this position here, once he uncrosses the legs, or almost about forcing him to open the legs, I put my knee between his legs. Then I take a step back. This arm is strapping his back foot. I'm going straight down, but now this leg pushes me back. So that my body, by being straight up like this, I have that much more leverage to crank his foot. Whereas if I stay here, squeeze his neck, and sit straight back, I'm already off balance. I'm already lost my ability to stretch the foot back. So be sure that you get the mechanics down really good. Is to bug his neck, open his leg with the knee between his legs, and then when you go down, this leg pushes you back so that you can be sitting straight up, secure his foot, place your foot on his hip, and then lean back. Go easy on his foot, huh? All right. Take the hoist, please. So from this position here, you grab the collar, you stand up. You want to bug his neck, yes, and all the time controlling this. The reason the hand is bugging his neck is because if the guy holds on to the collar and you try to go for the foot lock now, he's okay, you can't keep him away from you. It's not going to work as good. So be sure that you find a way to make his hand let go of the collar. And this is why we have this move. Now his hands are here, saving his neck from being choked. Now I step back with his leg, after putting my knee between his legs here. And as I go down, I push myself way off. What ends is exactly right on the very end of the foot right here. That's what I'm looking for, the Achilles tendon. As soon as I land on the ground, this foot comes up. This leg, either you adjust by keeping both legs hugged together like this, or place your foot on the bend of his knee to keep his whole body away from you. Cinch this thing up. Be sure his foot is way up, like a choke, because if he leaves a little bit loose, you don't want to be pressing this part and allowing his foot to slip out. If it's too loose, this kind of thing goes on. So bring it up, cinch it way up, hand on the wrist or on the collar, and then stretch back so that your whole body is what does the stretching. All right. Another variation for the foot lock that works well too. Cross your legs, please. Is when I'm in this position. Stand up. And sometimes the guy opens the leg like this. Okay? Instead of sitting back like we just did, in this case, I want you to do this. I want you to keep the legs, his legs strapped with your arm and your knees. Everything is kind of squeezing this together to force his feet outwards. From this position here now, I want you to take a couple of steps and walk forward. As you walk forward, be sure to allow your opponent space for him to kind of lead him to one side. You don't want to go too straight on his neck. You want to kind of take a half a step to an angle to the side. From here, let your knees collapse. Put your hands on the ground and find yourself with this. The hands are here so that he doesn't throw your head on the ground. Establish your base first. Put your leg up, and again, separate the foot, isolating the arm, and then cranking the guy back this way. Once again, please hoist. All right, so from here, stand up, you bug his neck a little bit, he opens the legs, right here. From this position, take a couple of steps forward, and like I said, if you go too much straight forward, the guy's gonna panic and just explode. You don't know which way he's gonna go. Whereas if you kind of lead him to one side and choose one side, it's easier for him to push on the way you wanna go. You kind of end right here. Keep one leg up. After you establish your base, bring the hand around the foot, just like we did before. Cinch it up really good. Hand on the shin, on the wrist, and then arch back. Let's do it. All right. The tricky part on this move is when you walk up, you have a good base here and have your hands. So if the guy tries to throw you around, push you back, whatever it is, I have, let's grab my feet to push him back, please. I'm in base here. I can only walk upwards and now my hands are here, bracing my fall. Allow yourself a moment to establish this position. Leg up, bring your hand around the foot, grab your collar if you want, and then arch back. Let's see this move again from another angle. Let's turn this way, please. He opens the legs, my legs will squeeze his knees in so his feet will stick out. From here, take a couple of steps forward, put your hands on the ground, and end up with this. Put one leg up, wrap his arm really snug, hand on the shin, on your wrist, and then arch back. One more time, please, Royce. Stand up, bump the neck. Okay. Grab my feet, push me back, please. Base here, bump the neck. Walk up, my knees will fall forward, hands on the ground. Brace yourself, leg up, secure his foot, and then arch back. All right. Sometimes when you're in the process of passing the guard, your opponent will open the legs like this or have his foot around, something like this. What you want to do is that you want to get a grip on his pants like this. Okay, cinching it up tight. Make the leg to the side and get to the side. That's one way to pass the guard, standing up. Once you get this position here and you have your knee on his stomach, a lot of times the guy's going to keep the leg up like this. All you have to do is sit, secure the wrist, the foot again with your arm, and either go for the foot lock right here or sit back, holding him away from you like this, plant your foot on his leg, adjusting the leg way up down on his foot, the arm way up down on his foot, and then cranking it back this way, either this or grabbing the collar any way you want, just kind of cinching it up tight, and then bring it back to stretch the guy's foot. One more time then. So you get to this, he's able to put the foot, free his legs, have his legs all over the place. Now you grab the cloth, both sides, walk away from him, shake the leg, fake him out, and put your foot in here. That's the plan, get to this position. He's got the legs sticking up like this. So now you're gonna isolate the foot, sit back, and then plant your foot right here. The other leg goes in here, and then stretch back. One more time, please, Hoist, to the other side. The guys got the legs open. Get a hold of the cloth here and here. Okay, shake them out. Put your knee on the stomach. Establish your position here. The foot sticking up. Get the foot, sit back. Bring your leg above by his waist so he can't get any closer. Put your other foot on the bend of the knee here if you want. And either grab your collar or your wrist. And then lean back, stretching his foot backwards. Sometimes, after you get to this position here, you push the leg and you get across this side like this. The guy keeps the leg sticking up like this. And you can also grab his foot, put your hand like this, and just crank it up like this and twisting his foot backwards. One hand here and here, or like this, whichever one you want. It might give you a better leverage because you grab this way. 1, 2, and then crank the foot back. Keep your knee on your stomach, and almost as if you want to lift him up by the foot, kind of stretching his foot back, bending the foot this way. So I'm here, you lift the foot up, right in here, and then crank it up. So I'm here. We have the option, if the leg is sticking up, to either do this move and sit back, or get the foot like this, and then bend the foot backwards. Like I said, the idea is to have one hand here, the other hand here, and then twist his foot this way. Okay. Foot lock can also be used when you're on the bottom. Check this out. So the person is mounted on you, has got a wide base like this, and the legs kind of spread out. You work on your way into the elbow escape, which is using this elbow under his leg. After your knee gets into here, you can push him away, bring the back leg over, isolating him away from you. And what's left is his foot for the foot lock. So once again, you keep your legs together, cinch up the foot, and then arch back. One more time, please. So from here, he's got a wide base, lots of space in between the legs and everything. I want to bring this knee underneath his leg. So I'm going to use my elbow to lift his leg up and scoot my hip back, bring my knee through here, and then with my hands kind of create a little extra space between him and I. Now this hand I'm going to put here, this foot I'm going to put here. It feels like a hand. Put the foot here, push the guy away, and this hand now separates the foot, cinching it up right by the Achilles tendon. Be sure to snug both legs together. This foot maintains him away, reach upwards. Keep him away from you, and you hold your wrist, and then arch back. One more time, please, to the other side. So either side, go like this, use your elbow, bring your knee under, push him away so that you can bring your foot from the top. Foot now sits here by his waist. Push him away from you, and with this hand, go around the leg. Adjusting right by the Achilles tendon. Hand on his chin, the other hand on your wrist. Keep your legs together, and then arch back to stretch the ligament on the foot. If the person is here, and he has the hand on the collar, and he puts the leg up, okay? I had turned my arm like this sideways. He's bugging the neck like we saw earlier, and I defend it. He brings the hand under my arm. I'm going to turn sideways facing him again, as we talked about before. As you face the man now, it's time to plant your foot on the ground, scoot your hip away, and as your hip moves away, it carries his foot with you. Brace him with this arm. The knee comes through in the middle, and there's the foot lock again, right here. 1, 2, and then stretch back. So he puts the leg up, he's doing this move here. From this position, you want to plant your foot, scoot the hip away, use this elbow to kind of brace him away with the arm so that you can just create this much space. Bring your bottom knee through, top leg goes over here, push the guy away from you, and with this hand, once again, secure the foot by the Achilles tendon, adjust your legs, and then stretch back with your whole body. The other side, please. Okay, let's just move here. Scoot your hip away. Plant your foot on the ground. Let's turn this way a little bit. Hoist. See, the trick is to plant this foot on the ground so that you can swivel your hip away. I put my weight on my foot and on this shoulder so that my body can just move away. The bottom knee comes under through here. The top leg is in there. Foot on the hip. Push him away. Move your body as much as you need to get space to bring your hand under. Squeeze your knees together and then arch back. Let me do this one next time, please. Turn around, Hoist. So from here, he puts the leg up. I'm going to plant my foot on the ground. Scoot my hip away. I'm going to use the elbow to keep him away and the hand. Bring my knee through. Top leg goes over right here on the ribs or the bottom of the waist. Scoot my hip back. Wrap that leg around. Cinch it up. Keep your knees together and then arch back. Another way to apply the foot lock from when you're on the bottom is this one. Check it out. So the guy's in your guard like this. You bring your leg under and around. push him away from you, separate the foot, and then down he goes. Adjust and foot lock this way. So Alex gets up, he's in here, uncross your legs, bring your leg under, all the way around. Hook the leg, push him back. Establish your foot here. If you need to scoot your hip away, do it. Wrap the foot, cinch it up, and then arch back. So the guy gets up, bring your leg down, hook the leg, push his knee back, wrap the foot around, cinch it up, hand on the shin, and then stretch back. One time for his voice. Leg goes around, trap it here. This foot pushes his knee away. Can't walk. Wrap the arm around the leg, cinch it up, scoot your hip back, keep the leg holding him away from you so he can't get any closer, and then arch back. Trap the leg and place your foot right here on his hip. The other leg pushes his knee back, and when he's go down, his leg is strapped, he can't get this leg out. Now from here you can put your hand, scoot your hip away if you need to, cinch up the foot, keep him away from you, just the leg, and then stretch back. One last time on this side, please. So from here, bring the leg under and trap the leg, going around. This is the idea, trap the leg around. Put this foot on his knee, push him away. On the ground, scoot your hip away, cinch up that foot way up. Either grab the collar or you put your hand on your shin, then stretch back. Now that you have seen how to apply the foot lock, let's make sure you know how to defend the foot lock. Okay? Please. Okay. As we talked about, the idea is to get the foot this way, place your foot at the waist of your adversary, and then either put your foot this way or keep your knees together like that. And the plan is to do this move. What you should try to do at this point, or a little bit earlier than that in fact, is to get a hold of the person's collar. You know, just get a hold of the collar. And as soon as you can, kick your foot in a little bit, right, as much as you can. This way, it takes me away from that perfect angle that I could to stress the ligaments on your foot. But now that you have kicked your foot in, go ahead, hoist. If you do this a little bit, I no longer have the same position that would be so painful. So by kicking the foot in, I now, with the hand here, I can't stretch back. If I'm keeping my knees together, lift his hand for a second. If I'm using this approach, where my knees are squeezing your leg like this, Royce has one hand on the collar, the second hand he pushes my foot out of the way, preventing me from pushing you back, and while he rests the weight on my foot downwards, he now sits over the leg, always continuously pushing this foot as much as he can in, so it takes me away from the chance of squeezing the foot. He now steps the other leg over and goes to the mounted position like this. Once again, please. Let me move back a little bit. There you go. So if the person has you on the foot lock like this and is working this, the first thing is to kick that foot in. Even if it's a little bit, makes a huge difference. And I'll change his hands, dislodges my foot with his hand. So now, by putting the weight on that foot, I can't bring my leg up and push him back anymore. He kind of keeps my foot away. Not only the weight of his hand on my foot keeps my foot here, but also he's going to use this so that he can move his hip over, like that, sitting over the foot. Continuously pushing this in as much as he can so that I can't squeeze anything anymore, and he's out, going to the mounted position. If instead of having my legs hugging his knee this way, I have done the option of keeping my foot on the bend of his knee like that, Tell you what, let's do this way. There we go. I'm doing this move here like this. He again wants to grab the collar, but this time he's gonna get a hold of that hand, pull my foot out of the way this way, and then sit up like this. Moving towards me, which again takes me away from pushing him back. Takes the chance away from him pushing him back. So if I'm doing this move here, I'm getting ready to squeeze his foot. He reaches for the collar. With the other hand, he takes the foot away. Put the knee on the ground. Come up. Now, either I'm going, again, hoist one last time, please. So I got him here. The foot is keeping the distance.
If I don't have the collar, I can't reach for the collar, use your elbow to knock his foot out, lift his foot up, fold the leg. Now I can reach.
Now he's got distance to get close. Great. One more time, please.
So if I can't reach,
take the foot out of the way.
Sit up.
Great. Now, once you are this close here, if I insist on the foot lock, I'm too close. He can't, I can't squeeze anymore. If I try to push him away, I have to let go of the foot. So in either case, you're free. That's right. One more time, hoist, please. So I'm here, I got the guy in this position here. He takes the foot out of the way. See, if I try to keep him away, I no longer have the foot lock. Kind of kicks it in. So kind of in a way cancels the foot lock ability here at this point. So if I have it here, one last time, she does this move. Actually, I'll tell you what, why don't you turn sides here with me for a second. There you go, right here. So I have this foot. And here, he kicks the heel away. Takes the foot up and come up. Now plants his foot on the ground. And I can't stretch anymore. My back is on the ground, I can't squeeze anymore. And he's so close here, he's already into another position at this point. Once again, from this side, I have my knees like this. He grabs the collar, pushes the foot away, knee on the ground, and then come back up, ending up in a mounted position. All right. If the person is on the guard like this, and from here, I try to bring my leg under, what you have to be careful with is walk up to make sure that I don't have the chance to push you away. And keep your balance here. Bring your weight down, yes. Prevent, yes. Stay real close, maybe put your knee on the ground. Whatever it takes, just stay close to the guy at this point. So back to this again, please. So from here, if I'm thinking about bringing this leg under, to do this move before I throw you on the ground.
You never let go of the collar.
Yes, get a good grip on this cloth. If the guy tries to push you away, you stay with him, keeping the distance close. He can't do anything anymore. It's so close, he can't throw you off balance. And just keep this bait here until you get this low. Let's do that one and then walk up to the head. So in essence, anytime a person is trying to catch you in a foot lock, what you want to do is that you want to maintain a close distance to him, holding on to the collar so that he can't create space and kind of keep your foot isolated from the rest of your body. So if I do this move here, I got up, and I'm thinking about walking up, this hand here prevents me from having this space. Now, I can't do this anymore. He always here with me. I can't, let go for a sec. If you don't have this hand, I can't do that move we talked about. But by holding on to this, I don't have this space anymore. I have to do something else. And if you have the hand on the collar, the guy tries to sit back. Oh, there's always a hand here to protect your foot. Sits back, hoist, go over the leg. Yes. And then come on up into the mounted position again. If I'm here, it's got a wide base. If I try to do this one here, the elbow escapes. To do this move here, hand on the collar, dislodge the foot, come on up, over the leg, into the mounted position. One more time, please, the other side. Here. As I push him away, bring the leg over, the hand goes to the collar, keeping the distance close. Dislodge the foot, hand on the ankle, step over, kicking this foot in always and staying close to him. Maintaining the closeness, that's the trick. If the guy wants to do this move here, keep the hand on the collar so that you can't push away. If I put my foot on the leg, doing this move, pull the leg up, goes to his knee, comes back up again.
If his foot is on my hip, I'll switch hands, use the elbow to knock that foot out.
Once again, do this move. So I go for this move, I'm bringing the bottom knee through, and I'm bringing this leg over. Hand stays on the collar.
The secret is always keep it here.
One hand on the collar.
One hand always on the collar. If the foot's on my hip, I'll switch hands, knock that foot out.
Come on. If I may do this move here,
Foot on my knee.
change hands.
So the secret for the escape for the foot lock is always stay next to the guy.
Real close.
Don't give it to him the distance.
The next position is when you find yourself, like we talked about, with the knee, when your opponent's stomach like this, and he raises the leg. Okay? You sit up.
I should never lift my leg up.
Well, that's right, Hoist. The first thing you should keep in mind is that you don't want to expose yourself to the foot lock by keeping your leg up. So ideally, if you can keep your foot down, the chance for the foot lock now don't exist anymore. However, some people do that, you know, Hoist. They lift their leg up like this. And if I go for the foot lock like this, as I move back into this position here, I'm going to bring my leg up and put the foot here. That's what I'm aiming for. One thing you can do is push the guy's foot and catch him on a foot lock. That works really good too. Yes. So if I have my foot on your waist like this and I have this foot on the knee, one thing that you can do is bring the leg right across. Yeah. And then stretch back. And the reason being is your leg being straight has a certain amount of length to it. And when I put my leg and I cross the leg, it kind of shortens the distance. So even though the legs are the same size, when this one is shorter, if it's bent, it loses distance. So if my foot is like this straight and Hoist brings it across, that curve that my leg makes keeps my foot shorter, therefore giving him a better chance to squeeze my foot before I get to his foot. And it usually gives him a chance to kind of kick his foot in a half an inch too, just enough to get me off. And this curve that's happening here now makes my foot hurt first, so be aware of that one. And of course, let's do this again, Hoist, please. So from here, ideally you want to keep your foot down, right? But if the person goes for your foot lock like this, because you made a mistake and you left your leg up, you can bring the leg across, lay back a little bit.
Push and lay back.
That's right. Good move ahead. Once again, let's bring this.
Instead, try to push his foot across or be stuck. Move your body out of the way.
There you go.
Catch it.
Right. Okay. Once again, please. So clear your body back, push the foot across, and then complete with the foot lock that way. All right. And one more time, please. And the other thing we talked about here is this foot lock. That again, only if you leave the foot like this, I'm going to have a chance to catch it. If you keep your leg down, there's no such a thing. I mean, the guy can't just try to get that foot. You have too much of opportunity to notice that. So from here, he goes for this and sit back. You can either do this move here and switch side with him, or you can again grab the collar. If my foot's on the leg, pull the foot up, go to your knee, go on top of him, right? And then go to the mounted position. All right, we have to make one comment about another situation. Lead the Hoist, please, for a second. You go for this, you go to the foot lock here, and you find yourself in this position, okay? Like we talked about before, the idea is to have the arm wrapped around the leg this way to do this move with the foot lock. There is, however, an ankle lock, which is when you bring your arm this way here, securing the guy's leg the same way, and torquing it inwards, like to torque the leg this way. It's an extremely dangerous move that in jiu-jitsu tournament and in sportive tournaments is not allowed, only in professional fights. The reason it's not allowed is that before it hurts your person's leg or knee, it's going to break the ligaments. So the consequence of the thing is that before the guy feels the pain, it's going to cause, serious damage to the ligaments on the knee. So this is not permitted in jiu-jitsu tournament, in the sportive tournaments. I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that, so that when you see this kind of thing here, be extremely careful with that, because once the person grabs their foot like this, it cranks, it hurts very much here first, before, as I said, you feel the pain on it. So you think you're resisting, your ligament's already gone, and you then feel the pain, it's too late. So that's the move here. You should be aware of it, but we recommend that you're extremely careful when practicing this stuff. Another way to get your opponent into a foot lock when he's mounted on you is like this. He has the hand on the collar, he puts the leg up, you bring your arm under, turn your body sideways, and start working on scooting the hip away. When the top knee comes under, and you start lifting him over, sometimes he wants to resist and stay on top of you. You move your body away, bring the top leg over from behind, push the guy away from you, and you're gonna find yourself with his foot here. You could actually roll over, put your hand on the ground, stand up, and then end up with this move right here. Here. So he does this, puts the leg up, bring your hand under, turn your body sideways. Brace the foot, scoot your hip away, bring the knee in. The leg that's gonna go over, push the guy aside, plant your foot, scoot your hip back, leg comes up, holding your opponent away from you. Bring the hand around, and you can either crank him back from here or roll over to your knees. Hands on the ground, leg up, adjust, make sure that you get it really snug right on the Achilles tendon, and then stretch back. I'll turn this way, please. So he puts the hand on the collar, has the leg up, turn your body sideways, back up your hip, bring the knee in, roll him over, the back leg goes over here. Push your foot on him and scoot your hip away. Look, this foot helps him to scoot my hip back. Bring the leg around and either squeeze from here or roll over. Establish your base, put your hand on the ground, leg up, adjust his foot, and then arch back. One last time, boys. Turn your body sideways, protect the neck, protect the elbow in so there's no arm lock. Put your hand on his foot, bring the knee under, push the guy away, scoot your hip back and bring your foot over. This hand goes around, securing the ankle, way down the Achilles tendon, and either stretch him back or roll over, hand on the ground, leg up, and arch back. Remember, these techniques are very dangerous. Be protective to your partner. Thanks, Horace.
Thank you.
Have fun with it. Hi, my name is Gracie. I'm hoping that you have spent enough time practicing the moves of the basics as well as the intermediate series that by now they're second nature to you. This is very important because if I were to show you too many moves at one time, although it may impress you, it would not be the best way to teach you. Since I'm not here to impress you but to teach you right, I have prepared this advanced series with the idea of continuing your systematic and efficient way of progressing in the art of Jiu-Jitsu. I'll see you in the mat. We're now going to show you some quick ways to finish a fight. Royce, why don't you demonstrate some of those moves that you like so much?
Okay, so from here, I want to step in, leg comes up, sit down, spin, go for the arm lock. Hold on, please. So when I step in, leg comes up. I want to sit straight down, rotate. Make sure that you do not let go of his elbow. Hold on to the cloth behind the elbow. Can't pull away. The legs, hook your legs on his back. Let go of the collar, hold his wrist. Squeeze straight up. Step in, leg comes up, sit straight down. Make sure that you don't sit with your shoulders back so you don't bang your back on the ground. So I'm gonna sit straight down, rotate. Don't sit here, but climb up. Hold the wrist.
Inside your waist, okay? That's something to say. 1, 2.
Sit straight down, spin. The hand on the elbow stays on the elbow.
So he can't pull away. You want this one? Okay. All right. Next move.
Another arm lock. I might go for the hook. The leg here, try to throw him back. He might resist, taking me down. I want to sit down, bring the knee inside. Leg comes over.
Just the guy resists with it.
So I'm gonna come in, try to take down. He resists. As I fall, make sure the knee don't come behind the elbow, but in front of the arm. Leg comes over. Again, keep my hip up. Don't let go of his elbow. Hook the leg on his back. Now the hand holds his wrist and I squeeze it straight up. So I'm going to try to do a takedown. He resists. Sit down, leg comes over. Of course, I don't want to do these moves from here. I back away from him. I need this space so I can step in, so I can set up. Sit down, spin. Hold the wrist.
Wait, talk to me again about the space. Royce, what do you mean?
If I do it from here, it's gonna feel awkward for me to sit down.
Oh, there's not much space between
Too
the legs.
close. So I need to back away a little bit. Now I step in. Shoot, sit down, catch.
One last time from this side, please. So he pushes you back, falls right into it.
The knee comes inside and the leg comes over. Keep your legs tight, trapping his arm.
Hugging the leg, yes. Okay.
Now the arm lock here. Very similar to the first one. Yes, Walking around, he grabs my foot. He starts to lift my leg up. I'll let him pick my leg up. I'll sit down and spin, go for the arm lock. Again, never let go of his arm. Okay, hip comes up. Hook your legs on his back. So walking around, he pick up my foot. I'll sit down, go for the arm. The idea of this, not just this one, but the first one, is as he's trying to pick up my leg, if for some reason something goes wrong, he's inside of my guard. Okay?
Yeah.
As I'm sitting down, I always keep that in mind.
If worst comes to worst, you still have the guy in your guard.
It's not a dangerous move to try at all. If he gives me the arm, I'll take it.
But if for some reason the guy catches your leg and you lose it here,
He's inside of my guard.
got it.
Same thing like the first one. When I step in and I sit down, if he comes with me, he's inside of my guard. It's not a dangerous move to try.
Let's do the one catching the foot from this angle here, please. So if the guy dives in for the leg, lifts you up.
I'm a spin. So sit down and I spin.
Yeah, the trick is to keep the weight on the back of the neck so that the guy can't get away. Check this out. So my I couldn't get away. It holds me down, and then the hand.
Not like this. Bring the leg down.
Lift your head up and your leg up. The guy can break away and pull the arm away. If you do this, oh, it's stuck. Hold the wrist. Right. Like when you grip the cloth.
Another one here. Now I'm gonna go for the left arm. So I'll hold the cloth. Okay? So I'm gonna cross my hand. Again, I need the space. Step, leg comes up, sit down, spin. I'm gonna cross hand. Hold it.
See that grip again? Got it. So you just go from underneath, you grab it. Yes.
Hold it. I need the space. I step up one, leg comes up. Step up, leg comes up. Step, leg comes up, sit down, spin.
I can't pull the arm away because the arm is stuck in here. Again, clamp the legs on the neck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, those moves are very surprising. Your opponent don't expect. He think that he's going on top of your guard, inside the guard. But last minute you pull an arm lock on him.
Yeah.
From here, I want to switch. I want to loosen up his collar. Switch the grip. Don't make it uncomfortable in his neck, because you're telegraphing the move.
Do not move away from it.
But make it very comfortable, very loose on his neck. Very loose on his neck. I'm going to come in close to him, head down on his shoulder. I'm going to bug his foot. Call attention for his foot. This hand, now that he don't see it, he's going to sneak underneath everything. Excuse me for a second. He's going to sneak underneath everything. When I get here, I push both hands in. Okay, so don't keep this grip, but this grip here is just to loosen up the collar for the second hand to come inside. Push both hands in to get the choke. So we're here, I'm gonna open up his collar. I switch the grip, bring the hand across, very loose, very comfortable on his neck. I'll come in close to him. If I stay away, he sees my hand coming underneath. He will use his hand to stop my hand from coming in. Okay? So I'll come in close to him, like I want to rest on his shoulder. Take his foot, take his foot. Now the hand is starting to sneak underneath everything. From here I want to push both hands in. Step on his feet, sit down, cross the legs.
Why do you step on his foot? That's what I want to know.
Because if I don't, he'll land with his knee on my groin.
I see. It's a good reason to step on his foot, I guess.
If I just sit back, his knee will come right into the groin.
I got you. Make sure you step on his foot then. Hand goes in.
Hand comes in. Please.
Way in.
Head down. Okay, the arm is in front of his face over here, so he can see very light. It's a very sneaky move.
The idea of kicking the foot, of course, is to make him think about defending the base.
Make him think about the base. Hand comes in. Step on his feet, sit down. And of course, like we saw the choke before, turn your wrist.
Yeah, with the blade.
Squeeze it, bring him into your chest.
I've seen plenty of the choke on the intermediate series, you know what? They know that move.
Good. Loosen up the collar. Loosen up the collar. Make it comfortable on him. Head comes down. Take his foot. Take his foot. Slide. Make it comfortable on him. Head comes down. Take his foot. Take his foot. Slide the second hand underneath. Make sure to push both hands in. Step on his feet. Sit down. If the opponent goes for the hip throw, I want to block his hip with my hand on his hip. Okay? And turn, keep facing him. Back up my hip. Okay? From here, one hand, give the collar to the other. First I block his hip so he can't get in for the throw. One hand, give the collar to the other. Don't pull the collar, because it's going to be tight for me to get in. But instead, give the collar so my tongue can come in. Underneath his chin, don't squeeze across his head, but bring the elbow underneath his neck. Okay, so from here he decides to go for the hip throw. He comes around, I'll block his hip. Stay facing him. One hand, give the collar to the other. Push the collar up. He's going to be holding my arm, so don't come this way, but instead come in this way. Okay, instead try to go around over his head much longer, come in this way. Elbow underneath.
And again,
the elbow comes underneath his chin.
the hoist is making sure to put the blade of the arm on the back of the neck, huh? Yes, very good.
Throw, stop him. From here, I can always sit down and squeeze the choke. Go to the hip throw or block. Okay? One hand give the collar to the other. Feed the collar. Hand sneaks inside. Sit down, bring him inside your guard. Keep him close to you. if the guy keep the head down, okay, as I pull him into me, I only step, his head's going that way, I'll step the opposite side, okay, rest my shoulder on top of his neck. So from here, he's tired, he's keeping his head too low, I want to step into him and rest my shoulder on top of him. Now one hand, give the collar to the other hand. I want to bring the wrist underneath his neck. Hold his arm and squeeze it straight up. One more time, please. So from here, he's down. I want to step into him and pull him at the same time. Rest my shoulder on top of his neck. One hand, fix the collar to the other. Hold his arm. Squeeze straight up. So his head is down. Okay. I'm going to step into him and pull. Rest my shoulder on top of his neck. Get my base. One hand, fix the collar to the other. Control his arm and squeeze straight up. So from here, step in, rest on top of his neck, adjust my base, fix the collar, hold his arm, squeeze straight up. We also can go for a foot lock from here. I want to step in inside of his leg. I want to step inside of his leg and sit right next to his foot so I can wrap his leg. So from here, I want to step way inside of his leg and sit down right next to his foot. Both legs come up on the same time. Once I sit down, both legs come in. Okay? I'm going to start to push his knee to let him fall. Adjust the foot lock.
Once again, please.
So from here, I need the distance. I'm going to step in. One. Shoot this leg inside. Okay. Sit down. Foot comes in, foot on his knee. As soon as I sit down, both legs come up. Start to push him down. Adjust his foot like we saw in the previous tape. Hold the wrist, hold the shin. Squeeze the foot. One, two. 1, 2. Both legs come up.
Kind of hold on to him too, huh, Hoist?
Yes. I'm gonna step in, catch my balance, and shoot the leg all the way in. Sit down. Start to push the knee. Once he falls down, go for the foot.
And stretch back. One more from this side here. Push the leg back. Yes. Is that it? Why don't we do a review on these moves, Hoist, at full speed, so that our friends at home can kind of double check and get a sense of how real this thing can work. Like I said, at full speed now. We'll do it from all the angles so that you can get a better grasp on what Hoist is doing at this point.
And the secret of the moves is set up. Okay, I'm not gonna be sitting here. Okay, 1, 2. Of course, when I practice, I'll start in slow motion. But now,
working the neck.
If you keep his head down. Thank you.
I should have done this sequence. Squeeze this guy a little bit. All right. Let's see a couple of moves now on the ground. First, what I think would be a good idea for us to do is, even though our friends at home are learning and practicing these moves more and more, I think it might be a good idea to let them get a taste of what's going through your mind and what's going through my mind as we execute the moves.
So what you're saying is a strategy game.
Correct. So this way you just don't do the move, but you actually can get a feel for at what time do we change minds as far as trying this plan versus that plan, you know, that kind of thing. Why don't we start, Royce, first with you laying down. And I'll be here. And let me remind you once again that this stuff is like a chess game. Every move has a counter move. So every time I'm planning or positioning myself to try something, Royce can feel my body shifting from one adjustment, from one snug grip to another. And he should be adjusting his body so they can keep up with the same, in the same line of what I'm trying to do. The difference between a person that knows what's going on to a person that you might fight on the street that has no idea is that it's very obvious you can just go for what you want and there's no defense and you just win the fight every time. But if the person speaks, quote, the same language, he knows what you're talking about, so the more experienced he is, the more he's going to become sensitive to your positions. Every adjustment that you make, everything counts. So what I'm going to attempt to do with Royce here, we're going to do now, is to demonstrate to you exactly at what point he identifies what I want to do, therefore changing gears to another position along with me, okay? So Royce, at any time that you're going to decide to move in any direction, you want to make a comment so that your friends at home, our friends at home, can kind of grasp when do you understand what I want. Okay, so the first thing I do is that I mount on Royce. I'm here.
I'm gonna keep my elbows down and wait to see what's your plan.
By keeping the elbows here, he makes me slightly uncomfortable, because if he's not aware of the elbows, as we talked about in the past, it allows me to move my knees up a little bit, now preventing him from potentially using the elbow escape later on if the chance happens. Therefore, the elbows here are very important. Makes me a little bit uncomfortable because I know that anytime he bucks the hip up, I'm going to need my hands for balance.
I'm gonna sit down and wait for your move. I could try to escape, but it would be much harder, because then you play defense, so it's easier for me to escape if I wait for you to commit yourself to something.
So from every move that I might try against Royce, he has something on his mind that he wants to do to counter that, all right? So he's got the elbows, he's going to be waiting for my attack. I can't go and accomplish victory without exposing myself from being taken away, from being taken out of this position. So he knows that. It's impossible. There's no such a thing as an attack that is so efficient that the opponent has no opportunity to counter that, just like a chess game. Maybe he doesn't know what to do, then I just go in and win the fight, just like playing chess against a person who doesn't know. But the mathematics, the science of the art itself will enable the opponent to counter. So two guys at the same level, there will be a draw, because every time I try something, he counters it and so on. So once Royce has this, I'm going to put my hand on the collar, knowing that if I stay too straight, it will be easy for him to roll me out. I feel that. So I'm going to slightly lean my way to this side, and I might even, because I know that he has an idea of what Jiu-Jitsu is about, I might even put this leg up to prevent him from taking me that away, as we talked about a little bit earlier in the previous tape. So now I have the leg up, Royce.
First thing, when you put the hand on the collar, I want to hide the second collar, put my chin on top. Hold your arm.
Why are you doing this?
So it's delay your choke.
I see. So while you're doing this, I don't have access to the
When you go for the choke, it's harder. Instead, leave the collar open, that your hand goes right in. So first thing I gotta do is play the good defense over here.
Okay.
You put your leg up. If you keep your leg down, I would flip you that way.
Right.
You put your leg up. If you come with a choke, I'm gonna flip you back. That way, because your weight is over there.
Right. My arm is trapped. You'll be rolling the guy this way.
But your hands is not here. Yeah. So my move, I'm gonna have to bring my hand underneath and turn on my side. Already, Already assuming that you're gonna come for the choke.
Wait, Hoist, give me a chance. As you turn to the side, my first thought is I want to make sure that if he doesn't know this, I'm going to bring my hand. When he turns, I'm already thinking he's going to turn sideways, I'm going to bring my hand here. So that's what Hoist is saying. He keeps the head down and blocks the hole, so I can't go with this. In other words, he's reading my mind. When he turns sideways, he's already protecting himself from getting choked. So of course I'm going to think about bringing this arm under here, because if there's a little tiny space on that arm, I'm going to go through with this, use the hand to feed the collar, put the hand on the ground, and then go for the arm lock, which is not what Hoist wants. However, if we do get this far, he can again get a hold of the cloth, secure the arm, and then with the hand push my leg away, try something like this, and then get up and move on to the next move. There he is. Okay, let's go back for a second.
I won't leave my arm up.
Right. Ideally, you don't want to leave your arm up, so I never had a chance to get that far with it. So I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. And I'm saying, well, I can't choke the guy, or I can't get him on the arm lock. My next thought is going to be, I'm going to try to roll him back and go to his back, doing this move and hooking the leg like this. Okay? And once I got to his back, I had a chance to try different chokes, you know, things on that line. However, what do you do, Hoist, if the guy starts to embrace you like this? Oh, my brother, how are you? Long time no see.
I'm gonna already put my foot
But
back
I'm your
there.
friend. I just want to hug you a little bit. I don't want to break your arm.
I'm already playing the defense. I'll defend the choke.
The leg is already here, so I can't bring him over this way.
I'm gonna start turn facing him.
If I have a chance at this point, as he's trying to escape, I want to mount again, because I want to stay on top. However, he's got the hand here, and he's going to attempt to bring the leg out.
I'm gonna bring my leg out.
And then end up on the mounted position. But, one second, Hoist. Instead of just letting him simply step over with the leg, bring the leg over, Hoist. Simply letting him do this. Now that I'm here, I'm telling myself, gosh, he's got himself a top position. I don't want to just put the leg down and facilitate that move. Although I'm on the bottom, I'm always better off putting him inside of my leg. So because I already have this leg trapped, I'm going to try to trap this leg by putting my hand on his knee, scooting my hip away, and putting him in my guard to do this move. So even though we reverse the position, I don't want to let him just walk over and mount. I'm going to keep him in my guard, which gives me a better chance. So now Hoist is in my guard like this.
Excuse me for a second. You're gonna attempt to put me inside your guard.
Of course. I'm going to try to do this.
I'm gonna lay down across. Put my leg up. Turn this way, please. And put my leg up over here. Bring my knee snug next to your hip. So you can't put me inside your guard so easy.
That's right. So sometimes you might be able to push this leg back, take your leg out, Hoist, and get to this.
I'm gonna get across the side.
So what do you want to do now, Hoist?
Now, if you give me arm, I'll go for the arm lock.
Oh, that's right. We saw this one. And we also saw this one here.
I'll hold the collar
Go around, Hoist.
and walk our hand on the floor, walk around to your head. Turn you over, knee behind your back, leg up, knee on the ribs, sit down, go for the arm lock.
All right.
But that's if you leave your arm out.
Which I'm not going to, of course.
Oh, come on, you're my brother.
Sure. So I keep my elbow down here.
So,
Or my hand under.
if I don't have the arm, I don't have the arm. If you lift your head up, I'll be watching that too. I'll come in, hold the collar, step over, go for the choke.
That's if I lift my head up, which will never happen. So in that case, I guess you have to try to mount.
I'll be turning sideways and I'll step over.
Like what?
I have an option of stepping over or sliding the knee through. I can slide the knee through this way or step over.
Yeah, except, turn this way a little bit, Hoist. When you step over like this, back up the leg again, please. When you step over with that leg, go ahead. That's the time for me and everybody else at home who has practiced this move, roll you back this way. Putting me on the guard instead of having this kind of guy mounted on you. It's the last thing you want. So now I'm on his guard.
I'll put one hand on the collar. That will be my first move.
Okay, and I'll be blocking the arm so he doesn't have access to the choke as we talked about before. So I block the arm here, okay? And I put my leg up.
Stop right there.
Yes, Horace.
Now it's my turn to move.
Yes.
You do a move, I do one move.
All right, go ahead.
From here, I can always uncross my legs, scoot the hip away, get ready for the sweep. And out.
And of course, if the person when falls down, go for the choke Horace for a second. Some guys are gonna panic here, unfortunately, which give you a chance for the arm lock. But I'm not gonna do that, don't worry.
Cross your legs again.
So when you get to this position here, knowing that he might sweep me, I'm gonna get the leg up and lean to the other side. Start bringing my hand inside this way. Lowering my shoulder.
Stop right there.
Yeah. Now what?
My turn.
Now what?
I'll be thinking about the triangle. Scoot the hip away. Lock. Both hands on the head. Squeeze.
That's right, that's a good thought.
Right here.
So when I get to this, I better feed the collar and keep my head away from you.
So I can't lock
So
the
that you
leg.
can't really bring the leg around and lock it.
Yeah. Gotcha. So use the elbow.
My elbow's
Head
trapped in
up.
here, the head is up. I'm okay now. From here, I'm gonna put the back leg up, walk around, put the elbow on the ground, and lay across the side. Now I'm, instead of swinging from here, simply stepping the leg over, which gives you a chance to roll me back. I'm gonna do a different approach. I'm gonna put my leg straight back and slide my knee over the stomach.
But then I can always elbow escape.
Like
Go back
what?
for a second. If you sit down, I'll hold your hip. Get myself ready to buckle you back. But if you lay down flat and you start to get ready to slide your knee, my elbow is already blocking your knee. My knee is flat on the ground, ready to come underneath your leg. So as you mount, I elbow escape on this side. Trap your leg. And I'm going to climb up all the way to your back. Hold your wrist. Start to climb up to your back over here. Because now I have this choke and I have the collar choke right here.
I got you. However, once again, please. Down a bit more. When you do this, if you go to my back, go ahead. I don't want to just wait for you to go for the choke. So it's best for me, it gives me more space to do something if I'm not squeezed between you and the ground. So if you get this position here, as I roll, I'm gonna turn this way please a little bit. I wanna be here, keep my hand up, controlling the arm. So when you bring that hand under,
Well, but I have the choke over here.
no, you don't have the choke. You have one hand on the
I got
collar.
one hand on the collar.
Yeah, one hand.
And you're on the wrong side.
I know, but if I'm on this side here, and I can't go back that way because you have the weight, I'm now gonna grow at both hands like this, look at you, and using my feet, pull my body underneath to go this way to get to this.
I thought it was a checkmate, but hold on. Go back for a second, please. Okay, I'm on your back here.
That's if I fall to that side,
You just turn into that.
and I do this. If I can, I'm gonna use my legs and pull my back to this side, and use the arm that you're holding the neck as a guideline to show me which way I should go, which is this way. So I'm gonna use my legs, push my body to this side, scoot my hip away, and then prevent you from mounting, or at least put you in my guard, doing this kind of stuff right here.
But what if, let's go for the what if now. You're here, your arm's up. You make a mistake, you leave your arm loose, and I come inside and start to go for
That-
get ready for the choke.
Thank you, Royce. I'm glad you talked about this, because at that point, I'm gonna hold your wrist, rotate your arm outwards, and then bend your arm backward like that.
Okay, that one didn't count.
Sure.
Go back.
Pega o pescoço de novo e cruza o pé.
Okay.
Pegando agora. But if you're getting ready for a final choke, it could be checkmate. Except that I got your foot, Royce.
No, that one didn't count either. Let's go back
I
for
know.
1 second. Right here, right here, right here. You put your arm up, right?
Yes.
You wanna fall that way, correct?
I go that way if I can.
But I won't let you.
If he puts that foot out, I know that I can't go because his leg is bracing him. However, because this leg is no longer trapped by the foot, the hook, I'm gonna go to my knee like this and bring the knee in, lay across this side like that.
You lay down flat, right? You start to slide your knee through. I elbow escape. If you bring your weight back this way, I'll put you inside of my guard. And I'll go to this side. Hold your wrist. Start to climb up your back.
Okay, back up for a sec though. You might be able to do part of that, but absolutely not all the way through. Because when I do this move here, and you do the elbow escape, and I turn to this side, and you do the elbow escape on that side, I'm not just going to be falling to this side. I'm going to be here, because I want to keep you down there. I don't want you on my back. That's why, at this point, I then get up.
If you give me space, both feet on your hip, I'm gonna lift you over, go away over the mountain position.
That's a good thought. Once again, please. So by the time I get here, we have to make sure to keep this really trapped snug so that he can't push me back. Now he tries to push me back this way here, but you have to bring your knees in. Push the guy back, yes. But I'm gonna compensate by not falling back, because if I just stay like this and he pushes me back, he could take me back that way and then end up on top of me. But if I'm here, push me back, hoist, that's when I control with this hand my balance so I don't fall back. And one hand goes way back. Now this hand lets go of the double collar. Feed the collar to the other hand way in. Put your knee on the ground. Stay really close to him. Straighten your leg back and put your elbow on the ground. This time, however, I'm going to grab the collar. Let me feel a little bit voice, please. Grab the collar, put the second hand on your belt, and jump up, putting my knee on the stomach. Maybe he will even put the leg up, giving me a chance for the foot lock. If I'm doing this, if he does something like this, I now can wrap the foot, sit back, and go for the foot lock like this. Got you now, boys? Yeah.
If you do get my foot, I want to sit up. Sweet, please. I want to use my elbow to knock your foot out and my hand to lift your foot up. Fold my leg, hold the collar, come up. But, one more time please. When you put your knee on my stomach, and if your hand is on the collar, if I put my foot up, you have a chance to go for the foot lock. So I won't put the foot up. I will defend the choke. That's my main concern over here.
Because I can't get the foot lock with the hand on the collar anyways. So
first thing I gotta do is defend the choke. That's what's concerning me right now.
Right, because if you don't, I could easily go for this kind of choke here and finish the fight right there.
And I'll have to block like this.
Right. So, but by defending here, you can't do it. So now, knowing that he's defending, I'm going once again try to mount and get to this position here. Hoist now has the arm. Go hoist. He does his move, takes the guy to that side. Now he's in here.
From here, if I put my leg up, I know you can go for the arm lock.
Which arm lock? This one here, right?
Yes.
We saw that before. And then go for the arm lock right here.
Okay. So when I leg up, I'm gonna stand up, straight up, keep a good base here. Okay? You're holding on.
I'm holding on here because I'd like to do this, but there's not enough distance. Can't get you in the choke.
So I'm protecting the choke. I'm keeping my elbow in so you can't go for the arm lock. But I decide to put my knee inside. I move my knee inside of your leg, right here.
Right.
And step back and decide to go for the foot lock. Try anyways. Try to go for the foot lock anyways. Even I know that you're holding, I gotta try sometimes. Maybe you lose the grip.
Maybe I lose, maybe I won't. Sometimes what could happen though, when you put your foot here like this and going for the foot lock, is that I could try also to get your foot. And then we're gonna decide who's gonna win now. But that's on the next series. Thanks.
Thank you.
My friends, once again, I can't tell you how important it is to continue practicing these techniques slowly, fluidly, and just allowing your partner to go through every move. The idea is the repetition and the continuous, smoothly ironing out and just kind of smoothing the ball. As the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get. Have fun with the moves, and me and Royce are going to be seeing you around soon. Take care, huh? Later, Royce.
Good job. Thank you.
Hélio was in the leading edge of everything. He was ready for anything, until the fight he had with Kimura. He fought the first round of 10 minutes, and Kimura could not defeat him. In the third minute of the second round, Kimura got him in an arm lock, and Carlos threw in the towel. Kimura wanted to take Hélio to Japan. He said he never thought that a fighter existed in the world with that kind of class. It was Hélio. He was the kingpin. The creator of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Man, as far as I know, I am the creator. Give me a break. Some people say that Carlos Gracie introduced Jiu-Jitsu to Brazil. It wasn't Carlos Gracie who introduced it. The introduction of Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil was done by Count Koma, Maeda Koma, a Japanese man who during a tour around the world stopped in Pará, Belém do Pará, and settled over there as a chief of a Japanese immigration colony. He developed a relationship with my father, who had influence with politicians. And with that story of Jiu-Jitsu being good, my brother Carlos was part of a group of students that the Japanese had. In other words, Carlos was a student of Count Koma. With the passing of time, my father, after the death of my grandfather, came to Rio de Janeiro. Carlos came along and he did not have a specific profession. To his friends, however, he would say Jiu-Jitsu was a very efficient art that could do this and that. He got a group of friends from the Bank of Brazil and started teaching them classes. He tried doing a few fights because the word got out that he knew how to fight. He did a couple of fights against a couple of individuals. One was at the YMCA against a very strong black guy that didn't know anything, and Carlos could not defeat the guy. He wasn't really a competitor. He was more of a technician that knew some moves. The jiu-jitsu that he knew was not enough to defeat a black fighter. After that, he had another match with Manuel Rufino dos Santos. Again, he did not win. It was a draw. At this time, I was already starting, and so was my brother, Jorge. He decided to get Carlos out of the fighting business because the jiu-jitsu that he knew was not up to date. I did not know much, and they did not teach me. I used to sit and watch Carlos teaching class. I used to have a problem with vertigo and ended up getting out of school because I would faint every day. There was a big confusion. I convinced my mother to let me stop studying. Then, for lack of something to do, I would watch my brother teach class. I did not have a special motivation to teach classes, nor thought that jiu-jitsu was what it is today. And with this, after a year and a half, I became a little parrot. I knew everything by heart, not only the questions, but also the answers, the advice he would give, etc. As a matter of fact, I must tell you, Carlos was like a second father to me because my father had separated from my mother and went to São Paulo, and I, at 13 years old, went to live with Carlos. From 13 to 16, watching him teach classes, I learned the jiu-jitsu stuff, the things he used to say, etc. I was never too excited about the moves because the things I saw were not of major importance for me, but I memorized everything. One fine day, he was late for a class and a student arrived, the director of the Bank of Brazil, and I said, "Look, Dr. Mario, Carlos is not here. Would you like me to teach you a class? Go through the program?" And he said, "Sure, let's go play." When Carlos arrived, Mario said, "I already had a class. You don't have to apologize. From now on, if you don't mind, I'm going to have classes with Helio." Carlos was not much of a hard worker. Actually, he liked the idea because there was one less student he had to teach, so I started teaching for him. He started giving me his students, and in the end, he wasn't teaching anymore. I had a problem. As a matter of fact, more than one problem. First, I knew everything by heart. I knew how to explain and say the words, but I didn't feel comfortable doing the moves because I could not adapt to the way he was applying the techniques. So I started to adapt jiu-jitsu to me, creating a jiu-jitsu that was a little different. Better yet, a lot different. I started honing it and made a jiu-jitsu just for myself. And this jiu-jitsu started giving me an increased efficiency. One day, this guy showed up very strong, Edgar Santos Rocha. I was a young man, about 16. Santos Rocha arrived and Carlos had me spar with him. When I threw him, he was a heavy man, almost 220 pounds, 195 pounds. I fell and the man choked me from behind. I was turned belly up on top of him and the guy was choking me. I was turning purple. He crossed his legs and I gave him a leg lock and he tapped out. Carlos was very impressed with my victory and sometime later got me another fight against a boxer. And that's how I started my fighting career. Then Carlos got married to a young woman who became the mother of Carlson, Robson, all this little group that I raised. At this time, Carlos was not even wearing a gi anymore, except to introduce me in public. He became my public relations, my manager. From that point on, I kept honing my technique, that today is the one that dominates the world. And my son, Rodion, with the UFC in the United States, which gave our system tremendous publicity, so that the whole world now wants to learn jiu-jitsu. And everybody in Brazil wants to move to the United States to sleep in the bed that Rodion has made. Carlos was my manager. And he knew I did not like to tap out. He told me, "I will only allow you to fight Kimura if you promise that if he catches you with a good move, you will tap out." I agreed. If he caught me with a good move, I would tap out. Although he knew I did not like the idea of tapping out. Somewhere in the middle of the fight, during the second round, Kimura was able to catch me sideways. He was very strong. Because we fought for about a round and a half, and in the second round he got me sideways, almost on my back, and crossed both legs above my waist. He was choking my neck and I was blocking with one hand. With his leg, he was squeezing my ribs. With this pressure, I could not breathe. I wanted to breathe, but my lungs could not expand. I felt I was going to pass out because I couldn't breathe, and I remembered the promise I made. And I thought to myself, This is not a good technique. I'm not going to tap. If it was a clean move, like an arm lock or a choke, I would tap out. But it's not. I decided not to tap and then I passed out. He used a lot of strength and he was already getting tired. And eventually had to let go. When released, my lungs inhaled. I was able to breathe and woke up. When I woke up, he was already mounted on top of me and complimenting me. "You're good." I didn't say a word, kept defending myself, and he attacked. The fight went on. Then he caught me in an arm lock, the same one it felt like he had caught me in about 10 or 15 times. And I had been able to escape, but I was already getting tired. And Carlos worried that I might not tap with this arm lock. Carlos threw in the towel. At the time, I decided not to tap because that was not a clean technique. I was embarrassed to say that I tapped because of some pressure on my tummy. When I fought Kimura, the local press was against it because I already had defeated the number 2 man in the world. But I wanted to have a feel for the Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't fight because I wanted the fame of winning, since I knew I couldn't defeat Kimura. I was about 42, did not have the stamina of youth, but I wanted to experience the type of Jiu-Jitsu he knew, since he was the best in Japan. When the fight was over, I was convinced that they were beginners in comparison to my Jiu-Jitsu. This Jiu-Jitsu that I know enables me to say that anyone who does it as I do, or as my sons do it, cannot be beaten unless by accident. If tomorrow there's a fight against Mike Tyson or Holyfield out of 100 fights, you can lose 1 or 2, but you win 98 or 99. I challenge Joe Louis. Let's say he hits me with 1 punch in my back. He would throw me 60 feet away. But the certainty that he would not hit me moved me to challenge him, and he would not accept this fight. So in order to beat us, either you have to know our Jiu-Jitsu, the Jiu-Jitsu I adapted, or hope for an accident. There is no way that the Boxing Federation would ever permit a fight. It's not that a top boxer wouldn't fight, because to get to the top, he has to be courageous and efficient. So, the reason is not that they would be afraid. Due to the tremendous popularity of no-holds-barred fighting, if boxing steps in and loses, its prestige will lose 80% in popularity, and boxing is a huge source of income. There's absolutely no way they would permit this. That's why in the United States there is a huge campaign against no-holds-barred events, due to the tremendous amount of interest in no-holds-barred fighting in general. It is so big that they are afraid that this success could surpass the popularity that boxing has as a sport. I still teach classes, and it's not just anybody who can make me tap. You know, I'll give a lot of people headaches. The Jiu-Jitsu that I developed was not a sport for competition. I was never a competitor. I was always a wimp, a weak man weighing 140 pounds. I never had the physical attributes to develop a sport for competition. Every competitor is an athlete. I'm no athlete. However, I created the Jiu-Jitsu Federation so that Jiu-Jitsu could have an official forum, giving some people the ability to compete, put my art on the map officially. My Jiu-Jitsu, however, is an art of self-defense. It's for the real street fights. It's to protect the individual, the older man, the weak, the child, the lady and the young woman from being dominated and getting hurt by some bum because they don't have the physical attributes to defend themselves like I never had. Therefore, I developed a Jiu-Jitsu that would focus on physical efficiency for self-defense. Brazil is the world center for Jiu-Jitsu champions. All the best Jiu-Jitsu fighters in the world are Brazilians. In addition to my sons, who are better than all the others, We have lots of good fighters here in Brazil who can go all over the world with the jiu-jitsu they know, and they are going to defeat everybody. But they went to the United States, and they all lost in the no-holds barred, because the jiu-jitsu they do is the sport of jiu-jitsu, not the one for the street fighting. This jiu-jitsu, they never learned, because, as the saying goes, you should not throw pearls to the swine, or try to teach the cat's jump to a bear. That's why my sons are the only ones who know this jiu-jitsu that works in a street fight. This jiu-jitsu combines the sport technique with the fighting technique. Here in Brazil now, everybody does jiu-jitsu with rules and time limits. How can I fight a man much stronger than I for 5-10 minutes if I'm weak and he is strong? I have to wait for him to get tired so I can defeat him. Who is a better fighter? I, who can make him tap in half an hour. Or he, that wins by points in 5 minutes because the timekeeper or somebody with a pen says that he scored more points. The winner is the one that wins the real fight, which is what we do. That's why our fights have no time limits, because we fight opponents with a huge weight difference. They will get tired because they do not have the technique. We wait long enough and then defeat them. I usually say, I never beat anybody. They are the ones that lost. I have 3 sons who are world champions: Rickson, Royce, and Royler. Technically in jiu-jitsu, there is nobody in the world who can beat them. Carlos practically raised me because at 13 years old, I went to live with him, and thanks to him, I evolved very much, morally and spiritually. He was a great counselor because he was a very level-headed individual. He was not a hard worker, but in any case, he was a thinker, a very spiritually involved person. And with that, he disconnected himself from material things and people. Then I sort of took command of the whole family. The money he had, I distributed to the family. It was mine and his. I had his total confidence and handled everything outside of his spiritual activities because he disconnected himself from everything and everyone. Carlos was a very courageous man. Although he was a philosopher, he was courageous as hell. I don't quite recall how many fights I had. I would say about 15, more or less. If you count all fights like everybody else does, including Rickson, who says he has 400 fights, if you count like that, I have 1 million, because for the last 6 years, I've been teaching jiu-jitsu with about 20 to 30 students a day. If you multiply that, it would be more than 1 million. Rickson, for example, fought twice in Brazil, and the rest of his fights were in Japan. I don't know if there were 3, 4, or 5. The rest that everybody likes to count that adds to 400 or 500 are tournament matches, amateur fights, little kids' plays, and I don't count those as fights. The guys are starving in Brazil, and Royce and Horion open a fabulous door, which are the doors to the United States, where for everybody, minimum wage is about 1,000 or 2,000. Here, it's 100. Anybody who's starving goes over there, and even panhandling can make the salary you can make in Brazil. So this invasion that is moving to the United States is natural, because Brazilians, as you know, are very tricky. They always want to take advantage of everything. With this idea, any way they can leech on, they will. And Horion, with this tournament that he did, the UFC, and Royce's victories, and now Rickson, gave a lot of publicity for our jiu-jitsu. I say our, because what I learned from Carlos Gracie was the Japanese version. This, for me, doesn't count. It served as a basis for me to use as a guideline. But the jiu-jitsu that revolutionized the world is the jiu-jitsu that I and my sons practice. And Horion has the world's biggest academy in the United States. And there is the jiu-jitsu that I like, that I want, and that I created. So everybody wants to go over there. It's only natural. They're starving here. They go over there and open up a school, and with the desire the whole world has to learn Jiu-Jitsu. What's happening is that anybody who gets there and puts Jiu-Jitsu over their door will generate a lot of curiosity. Everybody's going to try to learn, even if the Jiu-Jitsu is not good, but they're going to test it. So they're testing every kind of Jiu-Jitsu because they want to get where we are. And thank God, they're never going to get there. Everybody now is selling red belts, blue belts, all kinds of degrees and selling certificates. Didn't you see Carlson's son is selling a certificate in the United States? To anyone who buys 4 or 5 of his tapes, he'll give a certificate as an instructor. What else do you want? Is there a bigger con artist than this? And he's a Gracie, son of Carlson Gracie, and they're selling it. The American people who are innocent are excited with the work that Rorion has done with Jiu-Jitsu, and buy this stuff, think they are going to learn with it. They're actually doing a job in a way good for us, because they are teaching it wrong, and people that learn that way are never going to get where we are. If you look at it this way, it's good. But this kind of dishonesty, I do not approve of. I already elected Rorion my representative in all areas. Not only because he's my oldest son, but because he's the one who is more dedicated to Jiu-Jitsu for what Jiu-Jitsu is and the way I like it. He is a level-headed man, and sometimes people call him radical. But I'm more radical than he is. As a matter of fact, I think he's very tolerant. There are things he does that I would not do. But anyway, he's the only man that follows my guidelines the way I want, and that makes me happy. So I elected him a while back, the only individual who can certify instructors while I'm alive and after I die. To the decent citizen, to the executive, to children, to women, and to every weak individual who wants to learn self-defense or martial arts, we will teach everything we know. We will teach everything I know in 50 classes. All you have to do is pay the price and commit to the learning. Let's not confuse this student with those presumptuous ones who want to become teachers, because my own sons, who were born with me and since 3 years old have been doing Jiu-Jitsu, only got their certificates after practicing their teaching skill for 10 years. Now an individual comes by my academy, spends 5 or 6 months or a year, and then leaves calling himself a Jiu-Jitsu teacher. There's no way. Because for me, the instructor skill is not the learning of the movements. It's in the philosophy behind the movements. In Brazil, unfortunately, it's very difficult to find someone with the morals that I expect to become an instructor at my academy. That's the problem. Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil was only learned through me, because Carlos Gracie never put a gi on to teach class to anyone, especially to his sons. When his children were born, I was already teaching classes instead of him, better than him, and not one of them learned from him. So this is the deal. To know Jiu-Jitsu is one thing. Be able to pass it on is another. I wish the children of Carlos were able to put up with my radical approach and my demanding, exaggerated, and honest way of working. For convenience and other reasons, as time went by, they moved on and opened their own schools, teaching their own way. If they could not keep up with me, with my working habits, my way of thinking, imagine everyone else. Royce, who said that the best in the family was my youngest daughter because she could get anything out of me while the others couldn't. Every teacher of Jiu-Jitsu that does not have my certificate is not a Jiu-Jitsu teacher, because I know that they do not teach the stand-up self-defense, either because they don't know it or because they think it's too much work. The ones in the United States should continue with Rorion and his academy, because they are not going to find anywhere else what they can find there. I owe everything to Jiu-Jitsu. I was a weak kid, temperamental, nervous, and with complexes. I couldn't stand for someone to even look at me on the street. I wanted to be courageous, and I thought that to be courageous, I shouldn't be afraid to fight. What happened is that when I learned Jiu-Jitsu, I stopped fighting. I learned to believe in myself and became a more tolerant kid. I'm apparently a tolerant man because the self-control that Jiu-Jitsu gave me was such that today I come across as a saint. When the people start to compliment me very much, I usually tell them that I'm the worst individual that I've ever met. I'm like the devil. I have all the bad qualities that you can imagine. But thanks to Jiu-Jitsu, to the confidence that it instilled in me, I believe in myself so much that I think it would be unfair for me to even raise my voice to someone. Because the sense of security is so great that I think it would be unfair to take advantage of it. So, Jiu-Jitsu changed me morally and emotionally in so many different ways that my gratitude to Jiu-Jitsu is tremendous. That is why I'm a fanatic for it, and I love my students because when I teach, I fulfill myself through my student. I want to see him just like me, morally and physically. Because what you see sometimes is an individual that considers himself courageous, fighting and beating people up, while for me, every person that fights all the time is a coward. He is afraid. He is insecure. That's why he fights. Because a man at peace, confident, with or without Jiu-Jitsu, with or without the strength, when he is confident in himself morally, he dominates the adversary with his moral strength, not with his physical power. Physical power is a complement for when a person is not morally evolved. He will rely on the physical strength. So Jiu-Jitsu for this kind of person is a great equalizer. If today I come across as a nice guy, a calm, friendly, decent individual, I owe it all to Jiu-Jitsu, my friends.